And good evening, folks. It's an absolute pleasure to be back creating YouTube content live again. Uh, this is Reese, formerly of Talking the Turf TV, now back to a new channel called Reese's Footy Feed. Primarily, what will be a Burnley FC channel, but tonight we focus on a London derby between Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Primarily because I've not watched Arsenal live yet this season, and with half an eye on Crystal Palace, as I expect Crystal Palace to be operating in the lower reaches of the table, and sadly, that's where we can expect Burnley to be focused for much of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Uh, so tonight's starting lineups, we have Sam Johnson in goal for Crystal Palace. About three for Crystal Palace of Anderson, Mark Gurley, Terry Mitchell, uh, Ward, Chet Decore, Jefferson Lerner, Jeffrey Slope, Delvin Porter, Everett Jesse, roaming in the number 10, gliding around the pitch. Andre Ayew and Edison Edward as the focal point of the attack for Crystal Palace. For Arsenal, we see maybe for one of the last times in this starting position because of Arsenal's purchase of David Ray from Brentford. We see Aaron Ramsdale in goal as number one. But, the spotlight will be heavily on him with the purchase of Ray, meaning that Arsenal are perhaps ultimately looking to move towards a different sort of goalkeeper. Then we have uh, Ben White and William Saliba as centre backs. At uh, right back, the Japanese international Tomiyasu. At left back, Ben White. And now we move into the technical players of Martin Odegaard, the midfield destroyer of Declan Rice, Havertz will be floating around, and then the electrifying wingers, the real difference makers in this team, Saka and Martinelli, and the somewhat stopgap centre forward of Eddie Nketiah, who's filling in for Gabriel Jesus at the moment. Although, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Eddie Nketiah score one or two goals tonight because he's never going to be first choice centre forward for Arsenal, but I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as what has been suggested, and I do see incremental improvements in his game. Uh, you don't get the England under 21 goal scoring record if you're a duckhead at Premier League level, but I'm sure he'll try his best. We can see now the players are entering the pitch in South London. Crystal Palace players and somewhat gear is scratched at the top that's a bit like the someone's been sick on it. And Arsenal are wearing some beautiful merchandise as they always do. Look at how raucous the atmosphere is. That Olmsted Road end at Selhurst Park is always like an atmosphere that's generated on the continent. To be honest, one of the more vociferous and colourful grounds to visit. Uh, players are on the pitch, the formalities are just being gone through. Traditionally, you would say uh, during the thick of the season, certainly Arsenal of a bygone era would have felt vulnerable going into an atmosphere like this on a Monday evening. But I personally just expect Arsenal to have too much fluidity for Crystal Palace. And I certainly feel like it's one of those games where Crystal Palace need to be in it for a long time because if Arsenal were to score an early goal, then I would find it difficult to see Palace being able to turn the tide. But we'll see how it pans out. And thank you everyone for joining me. I absolutely love making such videos. It really helps me express myself and gives me confidence. So we'll continue to be making regular football videos uh, forever from now on. I do think that anything that good that comes when Crystal Palace is in, then I'll have to come through the man in on my screen on Sky Sports about it, Jersey. I was just listening to the Sky pundits who said that he apparently assisted as many as 7 chances against Sheffield United last week and had 8 shots on goal. So that's a total of 15 opportunities either created or shot by one man, which seems an incredible stat, really. I can't imagine that that's really happened in a Premier League match before. Arsenal weren't exactly convincing against Nottingham Forest last week, and perhaps Forest could have been fortunate enough to sneak a point as that game progressed. Arsenal were scintillating in the first half, but took the foot off the gas. You've got to admire Roy Hodgson at the age of 76, still being sat there in the dugout when he could be, sat at home in his pipe and slippers. But what a lovely man he is. Really admire that enthusiasm for the game. The players are congregating around the centre circle. I don't know whether it seems like there's going to be a minute's silence for some reason, folks. That wasn't quite expecting. Don't know what the nature of the silence is. Perhaps someone who's significant to Crystal Palace has passed away. Oh, Trevor Francis, yeah, he was a bit of a legend at Crystal Palace, and a nice touch by Crystal Palace because it appears that it's in memory of Millwall's chairman, so nice to see that football rivalries can be put aside uh, when somebody when somebody passes away. So Eddie Nketiah stands over the ball as Arsenal are in their what I would call a highway patrol away shirt. It looks like he should be digging up holes on the road, but Eddie Nketiah is about to get the action underway. We're off and the game's underway. It goes to Adam Ramsdale, who plays a long ball into the box. A bit of hairy clearance by Crystal Palace. Declan Rice puts his foot on the ball. Japanese defender Tomiyasu plays it. And a poor touch and misunderstanding by Havertz. Miscontrolled how to play through to Crystal Palace. Tomiyasu wins the ball back. Good pass by Havertz that time back to Ben White. And Partey now out of position, being played at right back, but he's a versatile player and has the physicality to do both jobs. And when Arsenal are in possession, he drops into midfield to provide an option. It's back with Aaron Ramsdale, Ben White. Partey goes back to White, but already Crystal Palace in a very rigid shape, but you can bet that everything's going to be done on a counter attack by Palace. So it's important that Arsenal move the ball quickly to create the gaps, and that happens. Opportunity for Arsenal for a guy, but Martinelli has the ball inside the area. He fires a shot, and it's in ball inside the Crystal Palace area. Saka tries to get a shot away but can't quite manage, and it's out wide with Martinelli, who is brought down by a challenge, but the referee plays an advantage. Arsenal recycling the ball with Thomas Partey out to Ben White, and Palace already being torn in all directions, and it's looking quite ominous. They need to get through these next 5 or 10 minutes without conceding. Saka moves the ball nicely toward the guard, and Arsenal seem to have a lot of options on the ball because the players are moving really flexibly. All 1 and 2 touch passes. Ben White played it out to the back to Saliba to Tomiyasu, and Martinelli takes the ball inside. Crystal Palace haven't had a touch here in 3 minutes of football, hardly. Heading Nketiah drops short. Saka now stands up against Eric Mitchell, brushes him off, has to go back slightly because Mitchell sticks with his guns. Partey again, really moving around well and providing lots of options on the ball. Saliba, Ben White. Old Arsenal plays very comfortable with Saka now. Tries to provide a ball to Nketiah, but Andre Ayew prevents Saka from getting to the ball first, and it's a bit of a unnecessary header to avert the danger, and it's a way for the corner to Arsenal, which Bukayo Saka places the ball on the spot, and he has lots of height to aim for with Havertz, Rice, Saliba. There's a bit of rugby behaviour going on, but the ball comes in. Saka headed away to nobody in particular by Palace, recycled by Arsenal. Ben White, Saka out wide, unfortunately given away, and I think it was Jamison Lerber with the ball up pitch trying to get Edward away, but to no avail. Mopped up by Ramsdale, and here Arsenal come again with Saka running at Mitchell, jinking this way and that. Played a misplaced pass by Saka, but there'll be nowhere to go for Palace. But excellent persistence by Tyreek Mitchell buys him some space, and he gets Crystal Palace out of trouble and does excellently to buy Crystal Palace some valuable meters on the pitch, winning a throw-in for his side. So 5 minutes gone, and it's a throw-in to Crystal Palace. David Ray there to the throne in the Arsenal goal picture on Sky Sports. The camera panned away and Crystal Palace surrendered possession already, and Arsenal are back in possession, but a very heavy and poor quality pass by Partey fired into Saka, who has absolutely no chance of being able to control that. And it's another point to Crystal Palace. Throwing for Palace to straight to an Arsenal head. Kai Havertz controls the ball in the field, and Arsenal come again. Very important that Arsenal keep moving the ball quickly. Saka must have had more touches than anyone else on the pitch at the moment. Declan Rice. I really do hope that Declan Rice can show us more strength with in an Arsenal shirt from a more progressive point of view, because he's got a good engine on him. I think that's a nice decision. I think Eddie's judged to have applied too much pressure to Anderson for Crystal Palace and been, free kick to Crystal Palace, but I don't think there was much in that. I really think the defender felt him breathe down his neck and bought the decision essentially. Crystal Palace come for Andre Ayew trying to back in, has to go back to Ward, who goes back to Johnson, and Johnson, hairy clearance, Havertz slides in, Crystal Palace retain it. Holt counter attack for Crystal Palace, the referee plays an advantage. Ayew tries to stand up, Tomiyasu. Ayew fails his shot in, and a very much needed and timely interception by Saliba, because there was much feet on the ball from Ayew. If Saliba didn't get his bearings right there, there would have been risk of, it would have gone through to Slope, who would have had a tap in, or a potential on goals, or great composure from Saliba to get his body in the right place. Tomiyasu, Crystal Palace now have visibly stepped up the pitch in a bit of confidence, and that's fantastic composure and control by Mark Gurley. Poor from Tariq Mitchell, who just can't quite latch onto the ball that would have given him a chance to get himself away and deliver the ball into the box. I do love Tariq Mitchell, but primarily his qualities are as a very defensive-minded left-back. He's now in midfield with Declan Rice for Arsenal. Ben White traps the ball, slows it down. It's better if Palace step up, because they can't spend all the game defending deep against the team with the attacking intent and guile and imagination of Arsenal. As much as I love Gabriel Martinelli, I do feel that he could do with turning on the afterburners a bit more frequently and really trying to burn the opposition rather than going backwards and sideways. Easier said than done for me, of course. So it's Partey, it's Ben White, who's going to offer a pass to Saka, who tries to throw to perfection, and then Ketia tries to control the touch from Saka, but doesn't just quite have the height. But anyway, he's come back to Saka, Odegaard. Saka offers offers himself to receive the Odegaard pass. Crystal Palace doing very well, but he just poor cross from Saka that time and gathered up by a grateful Johnson and goal for Palace. Tom Johnson, who a player, if truth be told, I've forgotten about. Oh, Anderson showed and then catching a good pair of heels. So yeah, Eze on the ball for Palace, but in completely the wrong half of the field, not where Palace would want to see him able to affect the game and do the damage. Very difficult playing a team like Arsenal for anybody this early in the season, but very much a sense that Palace are just trying to feel their way into the game. Not sure they really have much belief of what they're trying to do. But confidence will grow for Palace. The longer that they can survive in the game without Arsenal creating clear-cut opportunities. Throwing for Crystal Palace, taken by Tarek Mitchell. Thomas Partey fouled by, I think it was Edward. We can see on the possession graphic that Arsenal have dominated the ball, but as yet Palace will be quietly pleased because they haven't been under any direct attack. Arsenal have gone route one ball by Ben White to Kai Havertz that leads to nothing, and Palace spin the ball away. Eberechi plays a nice pass out. Mike Gurley's all the way up there. Almost forcing the corner, but the ball is redeemed by Partey, and Arsenal tried to play it way out of trouble. But that was a good press by Palace. But due to a bit of, I don't know. I don't know how that came about, but Eddie Nketiah has the ball. And Saka, Arsenal lightning fast on that counter attack. Just as I was about to compliment the quality of Crystal Palace press, Saka brings the ball about 40 yards down the field on his own, links up excellently with Nketiah plays a return ball, and it goes behind the corner to Arsenal, which obviously will be taken by Bukayo Saka. Saka stands over the corner, plays the ball. Poor corner really far too much loop on it, and it's an easy claim for Sam Johnson, who comes out, slows the game down, and plays the ball out to Joe Ward. Crystal Palace just trying to take all this thing out of the game, keeping the ball at the back. I wouldn't get too confident with the pace of Arsenal, but there's a through ball for Edward to get on the end of an excellent forward play as he gathers the ball with his back to goal and waits for the midfielders to catch him up, and that's given Palace opportunity to attack. Jordan Ayew with a fantastic ball, parried and partially saved by Ramsdale. It was somewhat uncontrolled and unconvincing, and the ball sort of pinballed around the box, but very fortunately for Arsenal, Eberechi's outstretched leg can't get to the ball, and the danger is averted. quality play from IU, and I suppose Aaron Ramsdale does all he can. Palace growing into the game as we see more touches for the key men from Palace off the goal game. That was a wonderful pass, and now there's an opportunity for Edison Edward. Crystal Palace appeal for a penalty. Handball against Ben White by the seems of it. And Eberechi, the ball was broken to him. He fails a shot which is gathered by Eze. But Arsenal, uncomposed, had sixes and sevens defensively. Not a penalty. Honest tackle and can never ever be a penalty, although nobody understands the handball rule anymore. But that ball from Jeffrey Scott was at such close proximity to Ben White that he had no option to get his hands out of the way. Crystal Palace have come to life, and the mobility and physicality that Palace have in midfield is suddenly unsettling Arsenal. Palace moving the ball around now, but they just don't want to get too confident and get picked off, because Arsenal can be, very clinical in the attacking thirds. We all know that. So, an interesting game because Arsenal have been on top for, a larger proportion, but now Palace fighting back. Ultimately, it's a derby, so you cannot expect a full-blooded and even contest to a certain degree. Eddie and Ketty doing a good job of linking up the play for Arsenal. Martin Odegaard spreads the play to Tomiyasu. Martinelli has been quiet, but here he goes, taking it past Joe Ward, past Ayew, but runs down a blind alley in a way back to Tomiyasu, who endeavours to get a crossing before Joe Ward takes ball and man, and it's a corner to Arsenal. And Joe Ward on his Zimmer frame, about 36 or however old he is, now looks like he might have done himself a mischief in making that challenge. Another corner to Arsenal, about the fourth of the game, but the first one from the right side to be taken by Gabriel Martinelli. Can his delivery be a bit more productive than the last couple from Saka? Yes, it is. Played to the far post and only some alert defending by Lerma prevents it from causing real havoc on the post, and it's sent back to where it came from for a repeat. What's this ball? Oh, excellent ball. Headed away from one of the Palace's defenders, quite tight. Recycled by Martinelli. Back into the box. Header away from Anderson. And Declan Rice competes for the ball, but it's safely into the hands of Sam Johnson, and Crystal Palace build Decore out to Ayew, who's got some room to run into. Can he get across it? No, he goes back to Eze, who goes further back to Anderson. And it's quite an even contest. Slip play from Palace, everything coming from Eze for them now. Jordan Ayew doesn't exactly inspire me, but I suppose he's a good pro. Overhit cross by Joe Ward, cleared by Saka, But again, Crystal Palace enjoying the possession. There's actually quite a lot of rotation and flexibility in the midfield from Crystal Palace. Oh, excellent shot by Lerma. Fabulous strike. Ramsdale dives, but he's hit it well, but he's just the corner, Albert, at the corner. A fabulous strike, but just off of his radar. Never trouble Ramsdale, but I think Arteta will be a bit concerned that Arsenal have just got sloppy and surrendered the momentum. But anyway, Declan Rice plays a lovely pass to Thomas Partey, and Thomas Partey spreads the play. Lovely control by Martinelli now, who has the ball. Nice play from Arsenal. Havertz slows the play down, as he often does, unfortunately. And Arsenal have to go central again, having quite lost some of the impetus of the attack. Declan Rice. That is nice. That's what we want to see from a England perspective. Him being good on a half turn and running away from his man. Free kick, which Arsenal take quickly, and it's back with Rice. Odegaard. Rice looking composed and unflappable in the midfield. I think it's sort of a game that needs a goal to open it up. Martinelli seems to be doing that thing where he sort of runs a little bit aimlessly with the ball rather than being direct. Suppose that's a nice pass out to Tomiyasu. Back to Martinelli, Rice, out to White. Arsenal playing in love with triangles, but not as sure as a great deal of penetration yet. Martinelli tries again. Havertz miscontrols it temporarily, but at least it's recycled. Excellent defensive shape from Palace, but Rice works the ball well. Out to Martinelli. Odegaard has it on the edge of the box. Tries to work an angle to shoot, can't quite do so. Havertz. Tomiyasu doesn't want to use his unfancy foot. He whips the ball, and this time not on the floor to almost a Saka. Hurry clearance from Palace, and there's no out ball for Palace at the moment, so Declan Rice does a lot to carry a behaviour for Arsenal and is back on the ball. Pings a fabulous pass out to Martinelli. Martinelli tries to go past Joe Ward, but I thought that was an Arsenal free kick, but no. Excellent defensive work from Jordan Ayew, who brings the ball away, and Crystal Palace now have a spell of keeping the ball. Shame that Jordan Ayew wasn't or doesn't have a touch more juice in his legs. Because if so, it could have been a rare counter-attack opportunity for Palace. Anyway, Joe Ward has a bit of space to run into, and surely he's going to play it to Jordan Ayew, who puts a team ball into the crosses into the box. That's easily covered by Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale plays a quick and purposeful throw out to Thomas Partey, and it's now with Saka. A bit more space opening up in the game, so maybe the creative players will start to do some more damage. It's out with Saka, who stands up Tarek Mitchell. Good ball by Saka, clear by Anderson to Rice. It didn't quite sit for him. Thought he could have had a shot for a second, but not to be. Martinelli takes it past John Ward and then unnecessarily comes back in. Lovely feat by Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah is, well, claims to be bundled down in a box, but there's no decision coming. Fabulous. I think, a very dirty tackle on Gabriel Martinelli. High and out of control. Declan Rice does fantastically to win the ball away from Jordan Ayew, and Jordan Ayew plays a reckless because he's unhappy and he's lost the ball. He sort of goes in on Martinelli with a bit of vengeance, and it's one of those where after what happened to McAllister and that, and you know the new directives, you won't be surprised if they have a look at that. I don't think there's just enough in the potential penalty for Arsenal, and I think I think Joe Ward's just a bit stronger. Are we getting on with the game, or is he in the... No, we appear to be getting on with the game. So VAR second on just the red card. So it's to the right, left hand side of the box. Martin Odegaard about 10 yards outside the area, right opportunity to play a ball in up for a cross, which is a fabulous ball, but Thomas Partey gets a full head on it, but he's unable to guide it in any sort of purposeful direction, and it appears that that Kai Havertz fouled. I think it was Matt Gurley anyway, so that would have been ruled out. Goal kick to Crystal Palace. Almost half an hour gone, folks. Matt Gurley slightly played into trouble under pressure, but Palace have the ball up only for him. Eddie Nketiah with fabulous forward play. Twinkle toes, a great turn, and it's mightily unfortunate to just hit the right side of the post. Nothing that Sam Johnson could have done. I think the pressure applied to him by Mark Gertie, not a foul, but just having Eddie Nketiah knows the challenge is coming, and I think he's just slightly put off balance, but very unlucky from Nketiah. Wonderful play, and a spin and approach play that certainly deserved to go. I think, as I say, I think Nketiah is rather underrated, but just a pity that he sometimes likes the clinical edge. Maybe it'd be better in a Palace shirt than an Arsenal shirt, but Sam Johnson has to rush out to gather a ball that almost is caught up by the guy Osaka. If there was a couple meters less on that ball, Arsenal would have been in again, and you have to think that the guy Osaka would have finished that off. Anyway, there's a game of head tennis in the middle at the moment. Declan Rice sees off a brick jersey, and it's back with Aaron Ramsey, who clears a long Mark Gurley cushions a header back to Tyrick Mitchell, who is kind of understandably so struggling against Bukayo Saka because he's electric. Free kick to Arsenal, half an hour gone. And as we can see by those action areas, there's not been any threat on the Arsenal goal whatsoever in the last 10 minutes. It is now practically one-way traffic, and we have to wonder, can Crystal Palace at least get through to half-time? Because Arsenal are really stepping up the tempo. Partey to Nketiah. Good defending by Palace that time. Gurley and Mitchell crowding Nketiah out. Decore. Palace can't get a foot on the ball. It's just coming back at them as soon as they're getting rid of it. Edouard isn't really making himself any form of presence. Royals looks a bit concerned, as if to say, come on, we need to step things up before we concede. Obviously, Arsenal playing it like it's a home game, really. Declan Rice brings the ball forward and plays a lovely pass out to Tomiyasu. Declan Rice is having a really good game. Lovely ball. Spread out to Saka, who takes on his opponent Mitchell. Martin Odegaard a bit gormlessly is needlessly offside there. So that's, from an Arsenal perspective, a frustrating release of pressure. Free kick to Arsenal after swap bundles into Thomas Partey. Still not very many clear-cut chances in the game, though. Declan Rice got an eyelash in his eye. If it's alright, is it an eyelash? A bit of grit. Anything to do with eyes is horrible, innit? You don't want anybody else's fingers going there. Obviously, if it's an issue of double vision, no, maybe it's, I don't know. Does Declan Rice wear contact lenses? I feel like one of the physios has just poked him in the eye. And he said, no, bugger off, I'm alright, thumbs up, and he'll have to now go off the pitch and wait for his 30 seconds. So Arsenal, very temporarily down to 10 men. And William Saliba had to touch with trampoline, and Jordan Ayew breaks away, and Saliba redeemed himself very well with a fantastic, you would have to say, goal-saving challenge that he had to time to perfection. Otherwise, if he didn't, it'd be a penalty and a sort of red card. And then when Martinelli out to Saka jinx him with Partey. Yeah, you would say that the only way that Palace are likely to score a goal, at least from open play, is if Arsenal shoot themselves in the foot and make a silly error. This is lovely from Arsenal. Eddie and Nketiah. that was absolutely sublime play. Odegaard, Rice, lovely ball out to Nketiah, and Nketiah thinks he's a prima donna, a simple one-on-one instead of just you. No. If you try and chip a goalkeeper and you don't put it in, you look like an absolute wally. When you're a mediocre footballer who's been given an opportunity in the first team and trying to make your way in the game, you've got to do the simple thing. Put your foot through it and get it on target. That's why you'll never be first choice at Arsenal, Eddie. Anyway, it's gone. He has to focus on scoring the next one. But gotta feel sorry for him in a way because it was lovely movement. But very frustrating for Arsenal that anyway they have a throw in. Declan Rice. What about the lovely assist to his name? Martinelli. Partey out to Saka. Lovely control by Saka. Skins Mitchell. Odegaard offering himself out wide. Plays the ball in, headed away, and whispered by Palace. And the referee's going to have to stop that because there's quite an unpleasant head injury. Collision between Odegaard and the court. Bloody hell, that would have hurt Odegaard. You wouldn't want the big fella, the Corey, coming down on you like a ton of bricks. Players are having a drink because it's a bit warm tonight, and both managers look a bit cheesed off, really. One would suspect for different reasons. I tend to think his side have done enough to have a turn of lead. Roy Hodgson thinks we're a bit fortunate given the balance of play that was still level. Anyway, the referee restarts play and it's back with Palace. Sam Johnson plays a long clearance that's intercepted by Tomiyasu, but Palace have it. And lovely by Lerma to Edward, who very harshly judged. Martinelli has come from nowhere to intercept that. Martinelli has it, but the place was down. Palace are back into the shape. Havertz out to Partey, who nice football by Arsenal, but they really are a clinical striker away from challenging Man City. As I say, that lovely link up on forward play by Nketiah, who plays it out to Saka, and well, lovely intricate play between Nketiah, Saka, Tyreek Mitchell. Well, it's wild from Saka, but credit to Tyreek Mitchell for closing down the angle and making it difficult for him and putting him off balance. But no, I don't like it when Sky put graphics like that up, saying that Saka's played in 82 consecutive games. I do feel like that's a bit like jinxing an injury. But Partey plays a ball into the path of Saka, and the duel between Mitchell and Saka continues. Saka forced to go backwards. Definitely, he has got a beating on Mitchell in terms of pace, but the positional sense and oh, Arsenal really knocking on the door. Oh, the card firing a ball in, and it's an excellent save from Sam Johnson. It would have probably been dipping in, but he just helped it on its way over the bar and takes no chances. Corner to Arsenal on the side of Saka. His deliveries haven't so much been up to his usual standards so far tonight, but we shall see what he can achieve with this one. That's a better one under the bar. The ball's in the air, will drop. It goes out to Odegaard and now back to Saka. Saka in the centre of the pitch and an unfortunate clumsy foul by Eze. Arsenal get on with the ball with it quickly. Excellent technique and improvisation and thought process by Martinelli on a half volley out to Saka. Saka plays a lovely cross into Martinelli who swings on the half volley. If that would have gone in, it would have been similar to the spectacular Paulo Di Canio goal at West Ham against Wimbledon back in like 1999, whenever it was. I'm sure you all know the goal that I'm speaking about. I wonder if we'll have a sensible amount of added time at the end of this first half because there hasn't been that many stoppages. But the referee gives a free kick to Arsenal when I thought, if anything, it might have been the other way around. But here Arsenal come Ben White, plays into Declan Rice, who's got all sorts of space. Wonderful long-range pass out to Martinelli. Martinelli has the ball at his feet, but goes back inside instead of burning Joe Ward. Saka plays the ball in the corner, and fabulous defending by, I think, the core of Crystal Palace, but the ball goes up the pitch and straight back at Palace. Tarek Mitchell intercepts. Palace don't have anywhere to go. It's a real guide action, and the concentration levels are going to have to be phenomenal if they're going to be able to keep this up for 40 minutes. Should I say over 50 minutes more of football? You have to think that they're going to have to be a bit more adventurous to give the defenders a respite. Eze tries to win the ball in the air, but that's never going to happen against Saliba. So again, it's just wave after wave of Arsenal. Not as much attack, but dominance. Nothing that we wouldn't have expected, let's be honest. Quite similar to what Burnley had to try and do for most of the game against Man City. Put City have Haaland instead of Eddie and Getty up front. Thomas Partey Only 2 minutes, which is nice and sensible. Can they get a ball into the box at half time? Oh, Palace able to spring a break because they've not been given, Arsenal haven't been given the free kick that they wanted. Eberici as appeals in vain for a penalty, but it just shows how as one side of the game as it's been, it only takes a split second because Palace could be lethal look on his turnovers. Jordan Ayew out to the left side now, up against Parton. And Parton not a natural defender, so will he be able to stave off the danger? He does the job well, but that's what you want if you're Palace to have Thomas Parton turning his back and being forced to run away from goal. Should be the last action in the first half, really, with Palace. The score nowhere to go, so he just takes the negative option, really. Joe Ward, Eddie got it into her. That is half time. Eddie and Ketia were the two best chances of the game. One fabulous play, desperately unlucky, and, well, the second miss. You can't really excuse it. Arsenal played well, been vulnerable on the counter attack a couple of times, so they have to get the back door shut. But it has been mostly Arsenal possession and a game of chess and concentration from Palace perspective. Thank you for watching in the first half. I'm gonna sit quietly for the halftime interval so that I can have a drink and get my breath back. I'll start talking nonsense again when the players are back out on the pitch for the second half. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you've found me. For anybody who's still watching, I'm sure the second half won't be too far away now, another 2 or 3 minutes or so. For obvious reasons, because Miss Horrible Posey is speaking for this amount of time, takes a lot of effort for me, and obviously I use my face muscles a lot because of my muscle tone when I speak. So until I get more used to producing content, unfortunately, it's just better for me if I say my voice over halftime breaks. But hopefully people will get used to that. And in time, I'd like to do some quizzes and some maybe uh, some fantasy football stuff to pass the time at breaks. But we'll see. Oof. It's a warm evening. I feel like taking the top off. But I won't want to knock any of my lovely viewers sick, so I won't. Don't worry. Because I touch minutes so after the second half and so do the players. Let's hope it's a bit more of a end-to-end game rather than so much of a chess match. Problem is, having won the first game in a game that they would have identified as one that they need to win against Sheffield United last week, uh, Palace would be absolutely delighted if they were able to hang on to this point because I think quite a few of us before the ball was kicked this season would have said Roy Hodgson in 2023, Crystal Palace without uh, Zaha and very little investment in this summer might be in trouble this season. Anyway, second half is underway. A long ball by Matt Gertie. Ben White. It's a bit of a hurried interception and sort of slices the ball into play for a throw. Jeffrey Slope with somebody and Tarek Mitchell is the beneficiary of that flick from Jeffrey Slope. Uh, he's not the most progressive left back in the world, like I already said, but I don't know, perhaps the forwards for Palace could have anticipated it more, but in the end, it ends up being an erratic ball across the pitch by Mitchell and a very dangerous situation. It's averted, but good skill. And yeah, more than something from Palace. That was as dangerous as anything they created in the whole first half. Throwing Palace backwards. I do like that Gertie. I think Palace could benefit if he uses his physicality more to step into midfield and sort of bypass the Arsenal press. But anyway, it's out on the side with Saka plays the ball in, headed away by Anderson, who averts the danger, and it's now Arsenal's down to have a corner, which will be taken by Martinelli, whose deliveries were excellent for the most part in the first half. Jefferson Lerman wants to swap shirts with Declan Rice 45 minutes too early. On the edge of the box with Saka, who's up against Dyer this time. You would imagine he will get the better of, and he does. And it's a teasing ball. Tarek Mitchell does his job well initially in the first phase, but now it's back with Saka, who plays a disappointing ball into the arms of some. It's all there for Arsenal, apart from just the intricacy of the play between Rice and Saka was terrific. That could have been a close call for offside, but Arsenal just lovely football, but just the decision making at the last moment. Anyway, as for Palace, puts his foot on the ball, turns. It's with Anderson for Palace, who plays a hopeful long ball out of play because Palace can't really get any meaningful possession because of the intensity of the Arsenal press. Forward to Arsenal. Tomiyasu surveys his options. It's getting a bit slow. He's not time wasting, but he's just being a bit deliberate and differing a little bit, should we say. As has opportunity to bring the ball away, but just miscontrols it. So Partey rebuilds out on the right side for Arsenal. Played it to Saliba. Back out to Partey. A lofted ball to Saka, who's free on the edge of the area. Saka turns the ball, gets a little bit caught under his feet, and he has to go backwards out to Odegaard. And Arsenal have to go square into the box. Partey into Martinelli. and there's half a claim for a penalty for handball against Palace after the attempted cross from Martinelli, but it's obviously not handball. It was shoulder of Joe Ward and a corner to Arsenal, and the ball comes in from Martinelli, and Sam Johnson does an excellent job coming through about 20 bodies to get to the ball first and get quite a powerful punch on the ball. And now it's a free kick to Arsenal a few yards outside the box because Jordan Ayew tries to he does rugby tackle the skillful Wrigley, sack it to the floor. So free kick to Arsenal with Martin. Penalty to Arsenal for sure. Yeah, wonderful. Eddie Nketiah tries to hurdle the challenge from the onrushing Sam Johnson. Wonderful slide rule pass by Saka, and no debate from me that that'll be no way it's going to be overturned because it's not a clear and obvious error. Eddie Nketiah slightly redeemed himself for his misdemeanor. No debate. Surely not. The only thing will be, as long as he's timed his run to perfection and kept himself on side. Excellent vision from Eddie Nketiah in the first place. Now, is it going to be spoiled because one of the Palace players ends up being put on the floor off the ball? I wouldn't have thought so because it don't exactly interfere with play, does it? No, I think they pointed to the spot VR, so it's no mistake. So, big chance for Arsenal. I would Odegaard is the one putting the ball on the spot. They did check it for when the defender ended up being pushed over, but they've obviously decided that it didn't affect the move, that it was off the ball, so it's alright. So Martin Odegaard places the ball down. Almost 53 minutes gone. Martin Odegaard steps up, does a staggered run up, slots the ball quickly to the right hand side. Expert penalty. Sam Johnson looks like an absolute buffoon because he's given the penalty away, and Martin Odegaard takes the penalty and waits for him to sit down. Clearly done. 1-0 to Arsenal, and it could and should be a few more goals. In truth, if it was 2 or 3, there would have been no complaints. And now Crystal Palace are going to have to open up and try to come out and change the direction of the game, which against a team of this technical quality and pace, Palace are very much up against it now. But thoroughly deserved from Arsenal, and perfect penalty technique. I don't think Sam Johnson is too great, really great shades, to be honest. But he raised with a kick, he slides it to a goal, and Saka was almost able to control it, but just skims off his toe and it's a throw into Palace. Right, I'll looks a bit puzzled as if to say there's not much I can do to alter this. But Everett Jesse has the ball and maybe has other ideas. He plays a nice pass into Edward, Quixote, and well, it was a good position for Palace because Arsenal were caught out of shape. Edward did well to turn his back to goal, and it was a good pass out to Jordan Ayew by Decore, who wildly shoots at the near post. How he thought that he could score from that ridiculous angle, I don't know. Aaron Ramsdale with a long ball won by Kai Havertz. Bukayo Saka first to the ball. Eden Keji are very unlucky not to release Martinelli, and Palace come back, and it is suddenly a more open game as we might expect. Tarek Mitchell slows it down, but no, to be fair, Palace have played themselves out of a tricky spot uh, to no avail, and it's back with Arsenal, and you would be surprised if it stayed at 1-0 because of the way it's becoming stretched. Eze. Oh, Eze's been. I think it's unfortunate that I don't think there was deliberate intent to be late from William Saliba. I think he accidentally just stands on a foot of Eze when he makes a fair challenge, but the referee says free kick, and it's in a very central, very inviting position, and he's going to be Eze himself to take it, and if he can get the ball up and over the wall here, then Ramsdale could really be scrambling. It's one of those where, well, it's a nearly perfect range. Any nearer and it'd be too near. I've given him a big build up, and it's a commentator's curse because it was a bit pants. A rugby conversion, nowhere near. He got the elevation, but he didn't ever look like getting the ball to the down. Quite strange that I'm still trying to play it from the back and see if they can beat the press. They might think about going backwards, which would have been very silly. Eddie and Katie and bundles into Mark Gertie a bit unnecessarily. And it's a free kick to Palace, who have responded well. A long ball by Mads Anderson turns Thomas Partey around, but there's far too much on the ball, and Arsenal are able to get going with a goal kick. And why is Aaron Ramsdale not taking the goal kicks for Arsenal in the last couple of minutes? Has he hurt himself? Don't think he has. He's just taken that, and he's got the necessary elevation and distance on it. So a bit strange. Anyway, Arsenal also were out of possession for Hunter and Pats, 2 or 3 of them, and it's an Arsenal throw slightly inside the Crystal Palace half. Arsenal seem to be taking the sting out of the game, and just as I say that, they have been time wasting, and Tomiyasu gets himself a stupid booking. We all know what the new directives are. It's all going to be added on. You're only winning 1-0 against the team that you're capable of battering. I could understand if there were 10 minutes left, but there's half an hour. Don't be so silly. Arsenal are well capable of footballing Palace off the park without, having to be daft and spoil the game at this rate. Anyway, he's got it in the corner. A bit of pinball. It's broken to Eze. Plays it back to Lerma. One ball. And I don't know. There's not a great deal of link. Like, Palace's forwards are to get playing as one. Midfielder is one. Like, they're not a very cohesive unit. There's a lot of hurried behaviour and hit and hope. I don't think Palace have been as good tonight as what Burnley were against City, but that might be my bias. Declan Rice is if anything's going to happen for Palace, it's going to be for this man, and he proves my point with that nice spin. Kai Havertz risks a yellow card by preventing the Palace man from being able to take a free kick. But it's good work from him because he slows it down. Arsenal have got himself in a shit. Mark Gertie with a lovely spin and running into midfield like I requested, but now he's lost it and he'll be vacating a lot of space that will open up to Arsenal. But luckily Arsenal have somewhat messed that up and lost the momentum of the move, but they return the ball. But there was acres of space for Arsenal to have run into it, and if they could have got it right. Anyway, Odegaard plays attack to Saka on the edge of the area. Saka back to Partey. Her lines up a power driving shot that, well, it's poor from Palace. I think it's Jeffrey Slot for Palace who inexcusably turns his back on the shot. None of the Palace defenders are interested, and Sam Johnson has to make another good save, open it over the bar. A corner to Arsenal to be taken by Saka. A lot of jostling, and that's a better ball. Eddie Nketiah almost in line for a shot, but Tyreek Mitchell just about gets his head on the ball to get the danger away. Martin Odegaard saw his name up in lights and tried for a first time hit on our volley, but it just looked so harmless with a Palace goal kick. But we can see that Kai Havertz is actually in midfield done a great job, judging by that touch about being all over the pitch. I don't think Crystal Palace have got a great deal on the bench, and that's the trouble for them because it's only going one way. So how can they change the tide? The quicker Arsenal move the ball around, the more the energy is being sapped away from Palace, and you can see they're going to get ragged and tired. And Arsenal, it'd be no surprise to me if this ends up 2-3. Ben White out to Saka. Declan Rice for me for the man of match everywhere. Really imposing himself in a more sort of explosive way than he ever got to do at West Ham when he was just a shepherd and a protector. We're seeing how much sort of athleticism and power he has. Arsenal just sensibly passing it around in triangles, and Rice, as if to prove my point, sets forward to Saka, to Odegaard, and you can see with every passing moment Arsenal looking more comfortable and controlled and looks like they could pick Palace off anytime. Odegaard unfortunate not to get that pass through to Martinelli, but Arsenal were becoming more and more fluid, throwing to Arsenal essentially, well, not quite midway through the second half actually. But yeah. The only thing is, if Arsenal overplay at the back like they almost did, Ramsdale pondered on that for a second too long. I don't think he wanted that ball back from Saliba, and just got to chill out Ramsdale in a way. I don't want him to be getting over the top thinking that he has to compete with David Ray's ball playing ability. Partey in the midfield for Arsenal out to Tomiyasu, who plays a lovely ball around the corner for Gabriel Martinelli, who's away, and then Ketia has a shot blocked, and well, it's a lovely play by Tomiyasu to set Martinelli free, almost a late challenge by Watchalong that could have been a penalty, and it set up lovely for Kai Havertz, who got the power and a good strike, but just not quite the direction. Wasn't quite as close as Oh wow. Oh well, the game is out of absolutely nothing changed. Tomiyasu has been red carded for Arsenal. I said he was idiotic a few minutes ago for his time wasting behaviour, and completely I don't know. It possibly is a red card by the way to the law these days. Probably is. But at the end of the day, maybe it's a yellow card. It's soft, but he knew what he was doing because Jordan Ayew had gotten away from him. So you can understand why it is a yellow card. But if he's not so stupid as to time waste with half an hour to go against a team and an opponent that his team are far better than, then he doesn't put his team in this uncompromising position in the first place. And just when it was looking a case of how many are Arsenal going to get if Palace can utilise their advantage, utilise their advantage in the remaining, well, 25, 27 minutes, then it could be a different game. And from nowhere, Arsenal could be hanging on instead of excelling towards a comfortable victory. So I can see that reinforcements will be coming from the Arsenal bench. And all of a sudden, the crowd are up. Crystal Palace have got a free kick because of another shirt pull. Kai Havertz kicks. Well, no, that's silly and very indisciplined by Kai Havertz. Crystal Palace are a poor team in open play, and Gabriel Martinelli becomes the sacrificial lamb as he's replaced by his Brazilian namesake Gabriel as a defensive reinforcement as Arsenal booms to the ranks. Everett Jesse over the free kick. Jordan Ayew has a snapshot that fabulous delivery right onto the swinging foot of Jordan Ayew, but for the deflection onto Saliba, that shot could well have been goal bound because it was on target and he did get quite a significant amount of purchase on it. Very interesting. Fascinates me every time our game can just change from one situation to another in a split second. I thought Arsenal were going to be comfortable winners, but Arsenal are probably going to drop deep now and see a different game, aren't we? Ward. Jordan Ayew's influence is growing, and now he runs at Arsenal. Edouard not just on the same wavelength, but at Palace have got more space, and definitely somewhat here from as a jinking past Odegaard towards the right, changes direction, and Eze now all of a sudden, like he's not been able to do all game, finding pockets of space between house and midfield and defence, and he's on the edge of the area, jinking this way, jinking that. Has the referee given is it a penalty? It would appear that the referee is given a penalty, a wonderful slaloming run by Eze, and it's not a penalty. It's simply wonderful skill by Eze, absolutely brilliant slalom control. But in my opinion, he's not dived, but he's sort of anticipated the contact that never fully arrived, and common sense for once has been reached by the referee and the VAR people, and it's a throw into Crystal Palace. Wonderful skill by Eze, though. If he could have just broken through, stayed on his feet and got the shot away, and then would have been looking at a wonderful solo goal. He's got such technical ability, and he's the epitome of what people talk about when we talk about these great footballers. Anyway, changing midfield for Crystal Palace. Jeffrey Scott replaced by Amanda, who looks quite a good specimen. I have to confess, I don't really know who he is. I understand he's yet another product of the Crystal Palace system. Look at Declan Rice now essentially being deployed as a centre back. Eze recycling the play back to Anderson, who has all sorts of room to step into. Hamada physically looks a lot like Onana of Everton. seems like it's going to be a really good action from Arsenal now to hold on to what they have. And as again, Jenkins takes it past Odegaard, runs into trouble in the form of Havertz, and then can Arsenal bring it away. Eddie Nketiah does excellently to shield the ball and invites a challenge from Lerma, who surely, because it's a counter attack, will be a little bit lucky if he doesn't get a yellow card. Eddie Nketiah is a good forward player, a good. He basically does everything very well apart from put the ball in the back of the net, which there's more to being a striker than goals, but for the top level, you've got to contribute more than the goals column than he does. But in terms of his all-round play, you can't fault him. Anyway, Palace come forward for Anderson, the Frenchman, Amanda Anderson, McGrahy, Tyreek Mitchell. Oh, nice idea from Isaiah, but intercepted by Party. And now a complete role reversal. We see that Arsenal are deep, inviting pressure, and there isn't an out ball. And you can just sort of see that those wonderful fans at the Homestead Road down for Crystal Palace, you can see him sucking an equaliser into the net at some point in this next 15-20 minutes. Unless Arsenal can kill the game on the break and Nketiah on the wrong wavelength, and that's wasteful from Martin Odegaard because Arsenal need to build an onto the ball, not be cool, pass the ball instead of making it into a basketball match. Anyway, ball into the box, overhit. Tyreek Mitchell, the left back, just about keeps it in play. Ball into the box from the core that's pants. Crystal Palace do lack quality in the final third, as we said. Don't think Ramsdale's made a save yet. And Nketiah is so brave there. Puts his body in the way and takes an absolute clattering to the ribs from Anderson. Really good from Nketiah getting himself there and winning his team a free kick. Goes down, sits on the floor and takes some sting out of the play. Now, this is a good, sensible move from Arteta. What we'll see now, I would imagine, is Saka maybe playing as a false nine because Eddie Nketiah's evening is finished, and Jorginho will come on for Arsenal and provide that bit more protection and calmness and composure for the Arsenal midfield. Someone to put the foot on the ball and take this thing out of Palace by keeping the ball moving. Very wise decision. 78 minutes gone, but God knows how much had it at the end. Sam Johnson under pressure from Havertz. Good distribution though. Joe Ward does a good job. And he's going to get himself up because he gave the gave the linesman a bird for not giving him the throw that he thought he wanted, but excellent. Uh, it is absolutely farcical to get yourself a book in August when there's half an hour to go. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe rather than uh, time wasting as such, maybe he was just different because uh, no Arsenal players presented him with an option to play the throw into. But either way, kind of what feel we are seeing too many cards in games in general at the moment, though. But that's irrelevance at the moment. Palace, Anderson. See if Palace could score in the next few minutes, who could be sure that Arsenal wouldn't crumble and leave with nothing after having appeared to have having had the points sewn up, because the momentum of the game's only going to be this way from now on. Edward is not very good, as it? That touch was appalling. And Arsenal spring the counter now. Thomas Partey goes back to Declan Rice. The momentum of the attack's gone, and the chance to do some damage appears to have passed Arsenal by. But, well, disappointed in Declan Rice there, a bit of a heavy touch. Bit labour, maybe he's tired. But Palace turn it over and are awarded a free kick. Matt Gurley passes to Lerma. You to Matt. Arsenal doing well to block off the passing lanes for Palace. And Palace have no option but to force the issue and present it back to Arsenal. But again, just a hopeful evil feel by Ben White. To be honest, the spectacle is now being ruined, and we're seeing Arsenal doing some controlled defending, just literally parking the bus and squeezing the life out of the game. And Crystal Palace look basically devoid of any form of attacking idea, really. Ramsdale hasn't made a save. Joe Ward goes off to be replaced by a very highly coveted striker in the academy brought up, Zaki, who's come on for Palace, wanted by Ipswich and Blackburn, if memory serves me correctly. Declan Rice looks a bit flustered. Mark Gurley, it's just a case of Palace running kitchen sink, not through any method or as such, but more pressure and weight of numbers that they can get in a box to create an opening. We're not excellent from Mitchell, gets around Thomas Partey, and Partey bites back with a challenge, and it's out to play for a corner to Palace. And either a goal is going to come from a set piece, like a header, because Palace have so much height, and the ball comes in, scramble, it's Sunday league behaviour. Nobody wants to get the foot on the ball. It's like a potato. Nice, excellent thingy. I think that was Otmar who almost controlled the ball on a sixpence and got a shot away, but there was a block. Now Eze picks up the second as the ball's clear, but misses his touch. Party out of play for a front Palace, and Arsenal severely on the ropes. 80% possession to Crystal Palace since the red card. Tyreek Mitchell plays a ball into the box. Edward, well, it's a peach of a ball from Tyreek Mitchell right onto the head of Edward, who has all the time in the world to direct his head up, but just somehow loses his bearings. Poor effort, really. And that really is as clear an opportunity as Palace have really created. They do look very toothless up from the Palace. Here they come again, though. Matt Gurley, who, by the way, I think will be representing England much more often by the end of this season. Here is again. Tyreek Mitchell with an opportunity to cross again, but the angle's wrong, so he goes back to Gertie. Back to Mitchell, and this time does try and cross, but the stubborn Thomas Partey blocks it. Palace now work it out to the other side. Ahmad to the Frenchman. Edward. Oh, are you nearly to be able to get a shot away? Fabulous by Lerma to win the ball back, preventing Arsenal from breaking. And Palace really knocking on the door there. Mitchell, nice play into Jordan Ayew. Oh, Arsenal really scrambling, creaking at the back. Interception, I think it was Ben White, not too far off the goal line. Anywhere will do, and any part of the body to get the ball away will do for Arsenal. How the game's changed. Palace playing in nice patterns. Now, that'll be a free kick. Oh, I thought that was a free kick for Arsenal, but no. Hamada, high ball in, pinball in the box yet again. Tyreek Mitchell saves the ball from going out for a throw in, and Jordan Ayew now works out to the side. Lovely football certainly from Palace. Why they had to wait for Arsenal to go down to 10 men to sprint to life. Oh, that'll be a booking for Ahmad, I think, because he's chopped Saka down, and Saka, well, wanted to lie down on the floor for a bit, but these Crystal Palace games don't let him. So Zinchenko's coming on for Arsenal. I'm looking a bit frantic. Odegaard off. Referee tells him to hurry up before he butts him. And Saka's coming off. So it is absolute ultimate defensive behavior. Odegaard and Zinchenko replaced. Zinchenko and Kiora and a Polish centre-back replaced by Odegaard and Saka. So God knows how many defenders Arsenal now have on the pitch. I make it about 6. And I would imagine there'll be 8 or 9 minutes at a time. Ben White now has it out wide for Arsenal. He'll never be able to get past Mitchell from there to get across in, and has to go back to Saliba to Partey. Oh, Arsenal have now actually got the ball in the Palace half and are moving it around quite nicely now, which is exactly what they need to do to frustrate Palace as they try to think about taking the clock down. Nothing too drastic, just nice triangles, nothing too over ambitious. We're on into the 90th minute now. So 7 minutes by the time, which is not just as long as I thought there might be by current standards. Arsenal have woken up again in the last minute or so. Ben White tries to spin away from Ben White, but from Tyreek Mitchell, but keeps control of the ball. And Arsenal, in the last 2 minutes, have suddenly found a lot more space. And it's Palace who dropped off again. Poor challenge from Lerma, who gets nowhere near the ball. Decore, excuse me, who gets nowhere near the ball on Havertz, and that will do all day for Arsenal just to take this thing out to Palace. And just maybe Arsenal will stifle the game after having a real scare. I'm sure Arsenal won't have any ambition to get the ball in the area, and nor did Zinchenko bit into the ball and it's offside anyway, so Palace have it back. Mitchell to Gurhey with a rather, well, a lovely crossfield pass as it turns out to Ayew. 50 yards or so that one. Ayew, no space for Palace now. What can I say? They're on the edge of the area. Partey, he plays a simple ball out to Mitchell, who, because of his defensive instincts, doesn't feel himself capable of beating Ben White. So he's a bit like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, really. Great tackler and great defensive positioning, but not much going forward. Good ball by Eze, but nobody just anticipating it for Palace in the box. Aaron Ramsdale was picking some mud out of his boots and taking as much time as he did before he gets booked, before punching it down the field to Kai Havertz, who stupidly fouls Anderson. Free kick to Crystal Palace. And I think the referee has a yellow card in his hand that was pro. Oh no, Havertz kicked the ball away, so he's got a booking. 4 minutes left, but you won't be surprised if that becomes 89. And Palace are just going to be reduced. Teasing ball by Amada into Jordan Hill, and Gabriel guides the ball out of play. Great awareness, great positioning, and great strength. And he's pumped up, and his Arsenal teammates celebrate that good play with him as though it was a goal, because let's be honest, Arsenal of 2 or 3 years ago, in, well, Emery's days, the end of Wenger, and even the first season of Arteta would have for sure crumbled in this situation. So if they can hold on to this, it's as she was saying, that Arsenal were moving in the right direction, but it's still a couple of minutes or so to play before we can say this. And not if Eze has anything to do with it. Here he goes, surveying his options. Back to go here, lobs it into the box. It's pinball, head tennis. Aaron Ramsdale spectacularly comes to dive and puts his head and his hands in the way of a loose ball. He could have severely been risking a trip to the dentist there if it's Edward swung. He could have booted Ramsdale in the head. Unfortunately for Arsenal, the ball falls to the uncomposed Mitchell, who swings his foot at it leaning back, and the ball goes high and wide into the stand for an Arsenal goal kick. But it just fell to the wrong man for Palace because it wasn't that far out, and if he could have just kept it down, it was a goal. But Ramsdale's bravery rewarded into the box from Mitchell, and it's cleared a bit hurriedly by Saliba, but either way, Palace on the edge of the box again. Gurley, heavy touch by the Amada fella, and the momentum spoilt. It goes back to Anderson, and if Palace have got the signs on getting back into the game, they'd better get a shift on. Excellent pass out to young Ratsaki from Gertie. Ratsaki stands the ball up. Ramsdale comes, claims, hard spills the ball, but pounces on it, lies on the floor for a few seconds, takes the claim of his teammates, time wastes again slightly, and then pumps the ball all the way down the pitch. It's out of play, and Arsenal have done enough. It was, well, a comfortable victory that turned into a scare in the end. But they've come through it, they've shown the character. Declan Rice loves it, and it's 2 wins from 2. They got good on another day. Might turn into a 3-1 win for Arsenal. Crystal Palace huffed and puffed, but didn't quite blow the house down. And as a Burnley fan, I'm pleased to report that I think they could be strugglers this season unless they are able to find themselves some more firepower in the remaining week of the transfer window. So, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure to have your company, and I will do more watch-alongs as well as Burnley content throughout the course of the season, and I look forward to sharing my love of football with anybody who chooses to watch me. Thank you very much indeed. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you wish. Thank you for all your support.